Hello. So last time I was really hoping to get the results of my mesh animations up on the screen. I was hoping to be able to actually see some meshes animate. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. I ran into some problems, or at least a problem. It's where instead of the mesh that I'm supposed to get, I get this big old, I'm not big old, but like a little old, uh, just, I don't know what, just a shape, just some random shape that's not supposed to be what I was expecting. So my first thing today is to try to figure out what that is, why. And I feel like the problem is somewhere in here because even when I set these matrices to just be the identity matrix, it's still messed up. In fact, it's even worse. So that tells me that the matrices here aren't really the problem and that it's the way I'm calculating things. So I was digging around at the end last time and I really couldn't find anything, but I'm going to spend some more time today and hopefully figure it out. And if I can't figure it out, then I don't know. I might just overhaul the whole thing. Just try it again from scratch. Try it a different way. I don't know. But let me see. What do I got going on here? So I have a vector 4 that's taking a matrix, multiplying it by a vector 4, and then scaling that by whatever that amount is. So let me take a look at the matrix multiplied by a vector 4 function. See if there's anything out of the ordinary with that. So let me see. This would be multiply. Pass in a matrix. So yeah, this function here, I'm gonna just double check that I typed everything correctly. So I got the element at 0, 0 times the x plus element at 1, 0 times the v. Oh, that's supposed to be plus. Oh, did I find it? Is this the problem? Was that all it was this whole time? So then that's that times that plus that times that. Okay, so let me see. Hey, there it is. That was the only problem, and it looks like it's at the first pose in the animation. That is exactly what I was looking for. Oh my goodness. Oh, if that fixed the problem, then I'm gonna be so excited. Okay, so the test here. So this dt, this is gonna be like how much into that current pose it should be. So if I set it to 0.05, then it should be halfway through between what it was and where it should be next. And yeah, it's definitely moved. So it seems like it's working. And if I set this to 1, it should be at the complete end of that animation. Yeah, sweet. This is so good. And everything's still coherent in one mesh. Okay. Okay. So this is good. This is good. This is good. This is what I was hoping to have by the end of yesterday, which didn't happen, but I got it at the beginning of today, so it's almost like the same thing. Okay, so now I need to finally figure out how to fill out this function here. So the first thing I want to do for sure is take how much time has elapsed in this current pose and increase it by the delta time. So then I need to do a check. It checks if that current pose elapsed, if that's greater than the mesh's current pose time, then that means I need to go to either the next frame, or if I'm at the end of the animation, I either need to start the animation over or, well, for now it's just going to start over. It's just going to be in a loop. But in the future, I can tell it to only animate once, and it'll only do it once. So yes, if that's the case, then I just need to check, do I need to start the animation over or go to the next keyframe? So I'll check that by, I'm going to save this in a variable. Current keyframe is the mesh current keyframe, and then the next keyframe is the mesh next keyframe. So if the mesh's next keyframe is less than total poses minus 1 because it's indexed. So if it's still less than that, then it's okay to just current keyframe plus plus and next keyframe plus plus. So you're just going to increase to the next keyframe for both of them. But else, if you're at the end, then you want the current keyframe to go back to 0 and then the next keyframe to be 1. Okay. Okay, so when I do that, okay, so I'll take care of that, but then I also need to reset this. So that is going to be current pose elapsed. So I just really need to subtract however much this is. Because that's, you know, if it goes over, then I want to calculate the excess into the next pose. So then all I need to do is calculate how much that current pose, how long that current pose should take to animate. So that is current pose time, and that's equal to something. Next keyframe. Okay, so that is equal to the mesh's keyframes at the next keyframe minus the mesh keyframes. Oops, that's not a dot. Minus the keyframe at the current keyframe. That's after they've been updated. Should it be equals? It should be minus. Okay, so whatever that value is, I want to divide that by the mesh's frame rate. All right, and then I just need to make sure that I don't forget to update the current in the next keyframe. All right, I have no idea if that's everything I needed or if it's all the right stuff I needed, but of course it's not doing anything because I'm not calling that function. So down here, right before I tell it to render that animated mesh, I'm going to say update mesh animation, and I need to pass in the animation that belongs to the tentacle. And then the delta time is just the game states. Okay. There we go. Okay. Does it work? I have a mesh animating on my game, in my game, whatever you say. That's great. Oh, finally. And I know it's not the most optimal way. It's, in fact, the least optimal way I could think of, but it's working. It is working. Oh, okay, that is so relieving. I don't know what to do next. So I think what I should do is try to test it with something more complex than just 2 bones. I'm not going to try to rig up the character yet. I'm going to go ahead and try a more complex example here. I don't know what to do exactly. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make a cube, elongate it, and then, oh, you know what I should do? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete half of this, and then I'm going to add a mirror modifier. So that way anything I do to one side will also happen to the other side. And then I'm going to just start extracting things. Rotate around the Y. Whoa, what did I do? Okay, so just a really dumb mesh. All I wanted to do is add some bones to this. Let me go ahead and unwrap that and shoot. Add armature that I can't see. There we go. Okay, so I just wanted to add something with more than 2 bones, and then also with something that's going to have multiple child bones for a for 1 bone. So let me go ahead and let's see. Let me rename all of these. So I'm going to call this root. I'm going to call this I'll just call this base / R for the right side. And then this will be mid R. And this will be end R. So then I can just highlight those and then right click and then do symmetry. I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, just by doing that, it automatically adds the bones on the other side. That's all I got to do there. All right. So, and they should have the same, yeah, they should have the same parent bone, which is this one here. And the naming is all automatic, so that's all good. So now I can come out of edit mode, and I want to add this to that with the automatic weights. Let me unwrap this, UV project. So many things I gotta do. Okay, so that's working, but I need to do some other things here. So I need to select that, and then I want to go to weight paint mode. Make sure all the weights are normalized. And then I want to limit something. Limit total. Yeah, so I want to make sure that the limit's set to 4. So you don't have more than 4. You don't have a vertice affected by more than 4 bones, is what I'm trying to do there. Okay, so yeah, now I could start making animation. So let's just set this to 0, 0. Let's do another 1 second long animation. Actually, let's do 2 seconds. Okay, so that sets the initial pose, and then I'm going to have the animation just start at the initial pose as well. Actually start and end at the initial pose. And then here in the middle, I'm just going to do some weird like twisting thing. Just kind of making it random so that I can tell if it's working or not. And let me go ahead and move this as well. Okay, so I got this really weird animation here, but that's going to be perfect for testing if everything works. All right, so now I just need to export that. Open. Animation. So animated. So first I need to export the mesh, which is now called cube. And yeah, so probably next time, if not next time, sometime in the near future, I'm gonna organize this, make it an official plugin like I did with the other ones, because I don't want to have to change the source code every time. Okay, so I'm gonna call this tentacle 2. And so that's just the mesh thing. Okay, so let's see how well that works. It actually worked. Does it go directly into the project? Oh yeah, it does. Okay. So that's um, the mesh, but now I need the, what do you call it? The animation. So now I need an animation exporter, and that's going to be armature action, armature, it's called scene, armature, armature. So everything's from the armature, and then this will just be tentacle 2. Oh yeah, I also need to specify the keyframes in the animation. So this is now 1 to 48. In fact, I should probably, well, that's all right. I'm going to formalize it all later. Okay, I don't know if that works or not. Nope. Something happened. Window. BPY has no attribute OBS. Oh, I think I gotta have the mesh selected or something. No, wait. Yeah, that's what I was confused about. Is this, like, where does this OBS come from? Oh, so now I gotta rotate it back. Okay. Line 1, math utils. Oh, this is not. There we go. But yeah, nothing's been applied. Oh, shoot. You know what I did forget, though? I need to apply the transforms to everything. All transforms, Control A. All transform. Okay, so that means I need to rerun the other script. Text open. Animated mesh exporter, that should be cube. And tentacle deuce. Okay, so that's that. And then now, animation exporter. Okay, so the animation should be tentacle 2. I think that's it. Oh yeah, and the keyframes. So from 1 to 48, and see if it can't find the, yeah, so then again, it can't find whatever this ops thing is. Why? Oh, duh, it's not obs, it's ops. Did I not save the... Oh, geez, I had this problem last time. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, so rotate that back. That should be ops, not obs. And then now if I run it, it doesn't work. Or it did work, but it rotated it too much. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so put it there, but I don't trust that data to be correct because it should not be this way. Okay, so then armature transform. Okay, so that should do that. There we go. Okay, so it stays in the right position. So that tells me that it's at least closer to being correct. So I drag that into there, and then I think all I have to do is change this to be a 2 and this to be a 2. And then let's see. Oh no, it's not working. And that is when I go to multiply a matrix, it's not working. Okay, so here where I am multiplying by the parent matrix, I am getting an error because parent matrix does not appear to be anything. Just out of curiosity. Of course not. Okay, so they're parent matrices. So is it BMAT that's messed up, or is it the other thing? It's looking like it's mostly just 0, with a few exceptions. And then parent matrices. And yeah, so this is a bunch of gibberish here. How did that not get set to anything? Okay, so that tells me that this animation is messed up in this exporting here. All right, but I can troubleshoot that. Okay, so total poses, it still has 3, but the total bones, why does it have 3? Should only have 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, but the total bones is correct. So that's good. But I don't know why total poses is 3. It should be only 2. And then keyframes. So 123, 47. Oh, I did put a third keyframe in there, didn't I? Yeah, okay, never mind. That makes sense. Okay, so no, like the keyframes are all right. So it tells me everything about this animation is, almost everything about this animation is correct. So let me see where I am creating the mesh animation. see if everything looks right in here. So total bones, total poses. Right. Keyframes. The keyframes are right. I don't see what else would be messed up if everything else is right. Access violation. So it looks like Matrix 2 knows what's up, but Matrix 1 is like, what? I don't know anything. Why? Why is that? Yeah, it's this guy. Parent matrices. Oh, okay, that would be a problem. The parent index is not what you would think. Even if I cast it to an int. Yeah, okay, so that would be a problem. How am I calculating that again? So here I just set it to 0, and then for every bone that is not, or that has a parent, I iterate through, and I check if B is equal to the parent, and then I set the bone's ID to I. I don't know if that sounds right. Okay, so let me go back to create mesh animation here. Okay, so there the parent index is 0, 0, craziness, more craziness, 0, more craziness, more craziness. Okay, so that at least gives me some semblance as to what the problem is. It's definitely having something to do with this parent index here, and that is not getting set to what I would think it should be getting set to. So why? And it might have something to do with the unsigned quality of it. Yeah, I think so. I think it has to do with the fact that... Okay, hang on, let me take a look here. What if I did this? Yeah, so it's the way I'm casting this stuff out of the bone here. It's like anytime the parent index is not 0, it's like gives me some crazy thing. So I'm going to change the way I do this. I'm going to pull everything out of there individually. So it's a quaternion, a vector 3, and a unsigned 32. So how do I do this now? Okay, so I'm kind of just going to do it a little bit more simplified here, just for now. See if this maybe will figure out why the parent ID is all messed up. All right, so then E32 parent ID is equal to okay, so I have no idea if that's going to change anything, but I just want to kind of step through here and take a look at parent ID. Yeah, so why is it always some crazy, ridiculous number? PID is 0 or number. Don't know if that makes any difference at all or not, but let's try it. Whoa, that actually did work. Well, it didn't work, but it didn't crash. So now that tells me, what was I looking for? Parent ID, right? 0. Oh, no, it's still, never mind. Okay, whoa. Because it seems like the positions and the quaternion, the orientations is okay. I don't know why the parent ID is all messed up though. Yes, it's all normal here. I don't know, so something is telling me it's getting messed up in translation. Array. Hold up. Array.extend. Oh, okay. That's and poses. Yeah, that's that. Okay. Why? So E32. Oh, is it like a packing thing maybe? Like, do I have to increase? What if I just did that, just out of curiosity? So, yeah, so now parent ID is all messed up, so never mind. Okay, why? If I treat it like a sine 32. No, it's still a bunch of nonsense. What is the position though? It's basically 0, 0, 2. Yeah, I mean, it all seems right. Like, I don't get why it would be wrong, but let's see. Yeah, this is basically 0, 0, almost 0, almost 1, which is pointing straight up. Don't get it. Okay, so now it's working. Okay, so it was the whole fact that I was trying to treat a floating point as a unsigned integer that was giving me the problem. So, what is BP? BP's a bone. Okay. Okay, so that's fine. That's okay. I can now do this. So BP orientation is equal to Q. BP position is equal to P, and then BP's parent index is equal to parent ID. All right, that doesn't fix my problem, but whoa, what the heck? Gives me some better semblance as to what's going on here. And it doesn't crash, which is also obviously a plus. So that was messed up. What else could have possibly been messed up there, since it's trying to treat floating points as non-floating points? You know what, to be honest, I can probably just put this back the way it was. Oh, already. Oh, you know what? I bet you that was the problem. I was increasing it too much. Oh, no, never mind. That should have been right, actually. No, I don't need to do that. Okay, so this should just be BP. Right? There we go. Okay, and it's still not working, but kind of getting better. I don't know. Just out of curiosity, if I change this to pose matrices. It's different but wrong. Okay, so I'm still not even convinced I have the exporting right. Let me try exporting it again, but I want to just double check that I'm doing everything the way I'm supposed to be doing it. So when I'm exporting the mesh, I want to make sure I apply all the transforms. Same for the bones. And then, you know what? Yeah, I bet you that's the problem. Let me redo everything. So clear the parent. When I go here, I want to make sure I delete all of these vertex groups. So now I'm going to reassign this with automatic weights. And then I need to come back here to weight mode, weight paint mode. Make sure I normalize them all. Make sure I limit the total. Actually, let me limit the total first and then normalize. And then I think that should be it. I think the posing should still apply. Yeah. All right, so with all of that, now let me re-export everything. So we want to text open the animated mesh exporter. That should be cube and tentacle 2. And I don't think I had to change anything else. That compiles. So now if I do text open animation exporter, so the animation, okay, so it does got that already. OPS, not OBS, and tentacle 2. Okay, so we should just run that, and it fails. Why does it fail? Oh, it's because I'm in pose mode. Okay. Oops. Okay, so I want to be in object mode. I want to make sure I have, I don't know which, if it matters which I have selected, but so now when I run it, it does compile. It doesn't go into the project because I need to put it there. Okay, so does that do anything for me? Nope, nothing at all. Okay. So I still don't know if it's the exporter that's broken or if it's the my code that's broken. One thing I do know though is that spherical linear interpolation function that I copied from Wikipedia does appear to be working though, because it did work for that previous animation. But this one does not seem to be working. You know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do one more test from the very beginning here. Let me make a new. I'm not going to save any of that. I'm going to do, try to do what I was doing before. Make a new cylinder. Oh, hold on. You know what? Let me simplify this a lot. Okay, so let me just all right, so this I want to apply all the transforms for. Same for you, all the transforms. And then I want to make that the parent with automatic weights. Make sure I go here to here, weight paint mode, select everything, limit the total to 4, and then normalize everything. And now I can pose this. All right, so let me go back here. 0, 1, 8. Okay, so I got a little bit more complex tentacle animation going here, so now I can try to export that and see if this doesn't work. Then I'll probably just wrap it up and then reassess the problem tomorrow. But if it does work, then still probably just wrap it up, but then do something else different tomorrow. So I want to make sure I go. Yeah, so first I want the animated mesh. That should be cylinder. Somewhere, remap, tentacle 2. I think that's it. Yep. And then open the animation exporter. Everything's there. Tentacle 2. Go ahead and put this in the project folder. Oh no, that's not good. So when it gets affected like that, that means that something didn't go right, because it should end up in the same position that it was prior. So why? I don't know. Okay, so it seems like I do have to have the armature selected, which is weird, but whatever. Okay, so that doesn't change anything, I don't believe. But my my mesh does work now, which that's good. That's a good thing. I just wish I knew why the other one wasn't. Does it have to do with you know, it probably has something to do with when a parent has 2 children, or when a child has 2 children have the same parent. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. Okay, so let me, no, I don't know. I don't want to give it up just yet. Okay, let me save this as tentacle animation blend, tentacle animation 2.blend. And let me see, if I go here, let me just make some really weird offshoot here. Okay, really, really weird, but whatever. All right, and then so now here I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to duplicate this bone, put it here, put that there. All right, so that's that. So I deleted everything. So the animation, actually, I don't know if it is still there or not. Okay, no, the animation's still there, which is good. So let me add now some weird rotation to this thing. What? Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so then here, rotate that. There we go. Okay, so just another weird animation just to test to see if this is working. So if this doesn't work, then I have a good idea as to what the problem might be. But first I want to open up the animated mesh exporter. So that's still cylinder, tentacle. I'm going to call this one tentacle 3. That works. And then text open animation exporter. There should be in object mode, have the armature selected. Armature, and then let's put this as tentacle 3. Saguinus. Let's go ahead and save and export it. And it should, yeah, it should go in there automatically. So now if I change this to be tentacle 3, what happens? Oh, hey, it's working. Okay, so it is working. I think I just have to be very particular in the way with which I export it and import it. But yeah, it's definitely what I had in Blender, except for that's kind of weird looking there. But I think that might have been actually happening. Let me see. Yeah, there's some weird, like, I don't know what you call it. Weird intersecting of the vertices or the vertex lines or something. But yeah, I think that's more or less exactly what I got here. Okay, great. This is good news. I'm glad this is working. I don't know if I need to save this. I'll go ahead and save it anyway. But yeah, so this is good. This is definitely progress. So I think I'm ready to try to animate a character. Maybe I'll do that next time. So I'll try to animate something a little bit more complex, and then also clean this up. This is just like a bunch of vomit on the screen here. So try to organize it a little bit, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and start saving, add everything, git commit. I'm gonna say here I got a starting to get some semblance of a working 3D animated mesh system. Okay, while that's saving, I'm gonna sign out. Thank you, everybody. I will hopefully see you next time. Have a good one.